Movies have long been our windows into worlds beyond imagination, where unearthly realms, fantastical creatures, and heroic escapades come alive. Yet within these cinematic marvels, we occasionally encounter certain depictions that blur the line between reality and fiction. Today, we are delving into the magical movie myths, those cinematic truths that may not be quite as factual as they seem. Let's begin with a staple of action-adventure films, quicksand. A scene that frequently surfaces in these movies is the perilous quagmire, ready to swallow protagonists into its murky depths. But here's the twist. While quicksand does exist, it is not the deadly force cinema often portrays. In reality, quicksand forms where fine-grained material, like sand or silt, becomes saturated with water, losing its solidity. A victim might indeed get stuck, but would not be sucked in entirely. The human body is less dense than quicksand, making it virtually impossible for one to disappear completely without external forces pressing them downward. So, the next time someone corners you with tales of treacherous quicksand, you can safely discuss the myth versus the manageable reality of it. Next, let's turn our gaze to the ever-popular laser sights seen in countless spy and thriller films. These beams, usually depicted as bright red lines visible in dim lighting, are often used to aid precise targeting. However, genuine laser sights are not typically seen as the solid beams shown in movies. In truth, for a laser beam to be visible as a solid line, it requires particles, like dust or smoke, to scatter the light, making it discernible to the naked eye. Real-world laser sights emit a focused beam that assists in targeting, but remains mostly invisible unless observed head-on. Hollywood's depiction caters more to dramatic flair than practicality. Our journey through movie myths would be incomplete without addressing the cinematic fascination with silenced firearms. So often portrayed as whisper-quiet, silenced guns in films create an expectancy that is rooted more in fantasy than fact. In reality, while suppressors, often inaccurately called silencers, reduce noise by slowing and cooling the escaping gases, they do not entirely muffle a gunshot. Instead, they lower the sound signature to a level that might not immediately alert those at a distance. The distinctive sounds of mechanisms and bullet impacts further betray the ongoing covert operation, despite what films might suggest. Another iconic myth that persists in cinema is the dramatic leap from a high altitude with nothing but water below as a makeshift landing pad. Films often show heroes diving from dizzying heights into the ocean or a river, emerging unscathed. In truth, water can be as unforgiving as hitting concrete from significant heights due to surface tension and speed of impact. The risk of injury, or worse, is high, especially if the dive is not executed perfectly. While the buoyancy of water may seem inviting in contrast to hard ground, the physics of high-impact landings make such stunts unsafe for the untrained. Our exploration would not be comprehensive without mentioning the perennial favorite of action epics, explosions in space. Hollywood's interpretation regularly features roaring fireballs and violent concussions tearing through the vacuum of space. Yet reality presents a contrasting picture. Space, devoid of an atmosphere, cannot support fire as we know it. Nevertheless, explosions are still possible. They just unfold silently and swiftly as there is no air to carry sound or fuel flames in the manner we see. The destruction might be just as deadly, but the lack of sound is a stark reminder of the differences between film and physics. As we start wrapping up, consider the ubiquitous movie trope wherein a character is knocked unconscious with a single blow or a short fall, only to awaken minutes later without any lingering effects. In real life, concussions and other head injuries are serious matters that can involve long-term consequences, including memory loss, confusion, and physical symptoms that need medical care. In summary, the world of cinema thrives on creativity and the allure of stretching the boundaries of what is possible. While movies entertain and captivate, it's important to view these magical movie myths with a discerning eye. The imaginative flair present in films serves to enhance storytelling, making us ponder the line where fiction ends and fact begins. As we enjoy the art of filmmaking, let us appreciate the craftsmanship while remaining aware of the liberties taken with reality. Through understanding and a touch of curiosity, we keep the magic of movies alive, grounded in both fantasy and truth.